The Dreame Z10 Pro is the third robot vacuum from the company I happened to test for the past 2 years, and I'm quite impressed by how fast the company is growing, making high-end products and keeping the price lower than competitors. Most of the latest tech in the robot vacuum world I've seen is presented in this robot. It navigates by using a LiDAR and 3D sensor, has mopping, strong suction, a large long-lasting battery and supports an auto-empty station. I've been using it almost every day for the past 3 weeks and put it through a bunch of tests, so in this video I'll show its pros as well as some issues I've had with the robot. Let's start with quick unboxing. The package contains the user manual, mopping pad with a built-in water tank, one spare disposable bag, power cable, side brush, the robot vacuum itself and the auto-empty base. The appearance of the Dreame Z10 Pro didn't change much compared to the previous L10 Pro model. It feels well built and looks really good in my opinion. Up front, the high-precision 3D sensor helps to avoid small objects. There is also a wall sensor that keeps the robot close to walls as much as possible. Underneath is one side brush for corner and near walls cleaning, 6 clip sensors, roller brush and self-emptying outlets. The main brush is a roller with bristles and rubber pins, and I like that it has detachable side tips, which helps a lot when cleaning it off tangled hair. Under the lid there is a cleaning tool. The 400 dustbin is rather on the smaller side, which is not a big of a deal as the robot empties itself after the cleaning. Here it has a HEPA and screen filter that helps to keep the main filter clean for longer. I see 2 doors underneath the dustbin as well as the base. The doors open up automatically when the self-emptying process starts. The great thing of the auto-empty system is using one port to agitate air into the dustbin, while the second port is used to suck out the dirt out of the dustbin. The self-emptying system is backed with the largest bag I've seen that holds 4 liters of dust, and based on what company claims, has to be enough for 2 months of usage, but of course it all depends on different conditions and how often you use the bag. The cord can be partially hidden behind the base, which is very handy. The Dreame Z10 Pro maps the house by using a LiDAR that scans around, creating a pretty accurate map. Up front is a high-precision 3D sensor that helps to avoid small objects like socks, cables, slippers and other small things that might lie on the floor. I find it works impressively well in real-world usage. Slowly jumping into my favorite feature, the object avoidance. I tried to see how well the Dreame avoids cables and found that it is good at seeing white cords, but can't send the black ones. I have never tested a robot that would be perfectly accurate at avoiding cables, but the Dreame Z10 Pro was actually really good at it. I would say the best I've seen so far. It can't send the tiniest things most of the time, but might catch some with the sensor. However, it did awesome avoiding socks I left laying on the floor. As you can see, the object avoidance is not perfect, nothing is perfect, but compared to competitors, the Dreame Z10 Pro is definitely one of the best. I've had some issues with obstacle avoidance, as it avoided debris that I scattered on the floor when trying to test cleaning performance, and sometimes it doesn't want to clean on the medium pile carpet, thinking it is an obstacle that should be avoided. I think it is something that can be fixed with a software update, and I really hope Dreame will fix it soon. Of course, there is an option in the app to disable the 3D sensor if it causes any issues in your case, but in this scenario you will lose the advantages of the obstacle avoidance feature. As to coverage, the vac does not miss any spots and is gentle with the object like the pots. It doesn't bump or drag them around, which happens rarer than you might think. A 5200 mAh battery lasts 150 minutes, which is a big pro if you live in a large house. It cleans about 1 square meter per 1 minute, so it covers up to 150 square meters on a single charge. The robot has recharge and resume, meaning that in big houses it returns to the dock to charge and then resumes cleaning from the spot it left off if it doesn't do the job on one charge. For the cleaning test, I use 100 grams of sand and different kinds of debris, and as usual weigh the bin before and after each test. I run the robot on low and medium pile carpet as well as hard floors. In terms of cleaning performance, the Dreame Z10 Pro is at the top list among other best performant devices like the Roborock S7, DD Backstation, 360 S10 and Roomba i3 Plus I tested recently. You will hardly find the difference in real-world usage between the robots mentioned above in terms of vacuuming performance. Maybe only the flagship Roomba i7 and S9 may show better results on carpet because of its dual roller brush system. I have to say it again, most robots do the job on hard floors, and the Dreame is no exception. But what it really does well is cleaning carpets. Not many models I've seen do the job this good. My conclusion is the Dreame Z10 Pro is perfectly fine for homes with mostly carpeted surface. It picks up scent of the carpet, heavier debris, pet and human hair pretty well. But do not expect too much. No robot vacuum is able to remove all the scent and fine particles deeply embedded into shaggy and medium pile carpets. A robot vacuum is not a competitor to an upright vacuum, as even the most powerful ones do not have as much suction. In terms of cleaning corners, the Dreame Z10 Pro doesn't go too close to the wall, leaving a small area untouched. Not the best in this test, just average among other round-shaped robots. Let's see how well it performs in mopping mud. The water tank has an electric water pump, which means it doesn't leak when charging, and the water flow is evenly controlled by electronics. The mopping seems to be doing well, but the water tank is small compared to some other models I've tested, and is not enough for a big cleaning area, especially on the highest water level setting. The Z10 Pro vacuums and mops at the same time. In my testing, it can mop a 60 square meters area on the high water level and 100 square meters on the lowest setting, before the water tank needs refilling. But in larger homes, you would need to refill the water tank every once in a while. The robot can climb up to 2 cm obstacle like door thresholds and can fit under any furniture with a 10 cm gap or higher. The app is made really well with tons of settings that I like. When finishing cleaning, the robot saves the map and divides it into sections. After that, I can set no-go or no-mop zones. As usual, I set no-go and no-mop zones for a navigation test. The two options aim to do the same thing, keeping the robot off certain areas. Only no-mop zones are active with mopping attachment on, preventing the robot from going on carpets when it mops. The no-go zones help to keep the robot from going to certain areas in your house in both mopping and vacuuming mode. Here is also a zone cleaning to send the robot cleaning a specific spot and scheduling. When scheduling, I can either set the robot to clean the whole house or separate rooms, time and days to clean, as well as tweak suction and water level. The Dreame also saves 4 maps and can be used in a multi-level house. I find most cleaning bases I tested to be good at sucking up the day-to-day messes the robot pick up in my apartment, and the Dreame after empty base is not an exception. But it's always good to know what the base can do in extreme conditions. I filled the dustbin full of cats and human hair. The base did the job extremely well. For the second run, I used lots of debris and let the base do the job. It did suck it up almost completely, but left some in the dustbin and suction inlet. I would say good job, Dreame! The last and most extreme test is with a dustbin full of hair and debris, and after letting the base suck it up, which it did completely fine, it starts giving me an error notification saying the air duct is blocked. After cleaning it up, the system works just fine. Summing up, the Dreame's base did the job just fine, maybe one of the best taking into account other models I've tested. Long hair tends to get wrapped around the brush, and for someone like me who faces this over and over again, removable side tips make a big deal, as hair is prone to get stuck around the edges the most. Even the smallest thing in design causes hair wrapping more or less, depending on the models, and I don't know why, but the Dreame seems to be one of the best in this area. When cleaning the brush roll, I didn't notice as much hair, even though it did run around the house a few times before. Aside from that, a part of my maintenance routine is washing the mopping cloth, which I do in the washing machine. Taking into account everything I've just said, let's jump into the pros and cons of the Dreame Z10 Pro. The good things are great cleaning performance, strong auto-empty base, one of the best obstacle avoidance feature, relatively good mopping performance, large long-lasting battery, multiple mop support, efficient navigation, features-rich app, good value for the price. And there are some other things that I would like to be improved. The robot has a small water tank. Software needs improvements, as it might avoid carpets in some circumstances. Doesn't avoid carpets automatically in mopping mode. No-go zones should be set manually before. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, subscribe to my channel, press the like button and leave a comment below on what do you think about the robot. As usually, links in the description.